Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day, happy Sunday, and a wonderful weekend to you. We're going to take a look here at Solana. I got a lot of requests as to why we took such heavy profits on this coin here recently. We took a good 64%, granted that was in 20 days, but still good amount considering it's only 5x leverage. Again, we do safe trades here. 5x leverage for KNC short, 32%. 5x leverage for our OGN long, 205%. It's been a pretty good weekend for us. So congrats again to our community members there. If you do want to become part of that, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link down below. I do have an option for trade signals. These are fully automated. You can follow them through Cornix or just manually, of course, enter your trades on your own accord. That being said, though, we're going to look here at Solana and just kind of acknowledge the fact that we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern that broke out pretty substantially. We've got a previous resistance level that just worked as a strong support, basically a catalyst for the short squeeze. We're going to draw out some new Fibonacci levels here and kind of get perspective on what's going on. Because again, with the current levels that we're at right now, we want to kind of get a bigger picture understanding since there's some bigger movements going on. I get the question like, where do I want to put my fib levels? For right now, we'll just kind of take a look at this here and see what this looks like with the larger time frames. But in truth, we could look at a few other playout charts too for smaller time frames, which we'll do here in a moment. Speaking of playout charts, I send those out on my Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, so everything's available there for you where we kind of highlight some specifics there and kind of talk about what's going on with the coins. And sometimes that's a little bit easier for folks to understand. That that being established, what do we want to look at next? Well, let's start with the daily first and work our way down. And we can kind of see here on the daily, we're getting some resistance in the 0.3 to 2.5 Fibonacci retracement levels. These are really common areas because, again, the halfway point is typically a strong catalyst for movement or rejection. Okay. Take a look at the volume profile, though. If we just kind of exclude the most recent past, only look at the most recent past here. Within July till now, we can see the strong amount of foundational volume at about 19.49, roughly $20. And we kind of bounce off that little support level there. Okay, so we zoom out a little further, we can see the most amount of volume accumulation really at that $20 mark. Okay, so my speculation here is if the price does pull back, we're going to probably see a nice little bounce off this area. Okay, so it wouldn't be terrible to consider adding to your position in the $21 range, but generally speaking, we're looking pretty decent here for this coin. Looking at a few other factors, we can see our RSI is getting really, really close to 70. So we broke through this resistance level here at about 2.236 at $20.80, and then the price action essentially hit this resistance level at 70 in the RSI. So the bottom line here is that this is a support level, and this is a new resistance here at about $23. So round number $23 is the resistance. Not saying you should short until this level, but a good consideration for entry is somewhere between 2050 and 2150. That'd be something I would be looking at. So based on what I see here so far, I'm just going to add an alert here closer to the $21 range so I can reevaluate if the price comes back down there and see if we might want to take entry. So the truth is here, we see the price action, the way that it came down, it was descending, of course. Finally broke that descending trend with a little bit of a higher high and a higher low. It reestablished that level, essentially broke out with a double bottom or inverse head and shoulders, of course, and the price continued higher. So again, really cool stuff here. I think this coin is back on track. The key takeaway here is that we need to understand that Bitcoin, it does pull back. It will effectively correct itself as well. So Solana is somewhat paired with Bitcoin, not 100%, but for the most part, most coins have that. The good news is, though, in this month of October, it has been historically one of the best months for cryptocurrency and/or Bitcoin. So that gives you an indication. The price of Bitcoin goes up, something like this will continue too. So I would say that we are a little bit more long-term biased or more long position biased in this month time frame than I would otherwise, because October, November, December have historically been really good months. So that's kind of where we're at there, kind of as a preface. Let's talk about the 4-hour time frame, see what's going on. This is more transitionary, letting us know where we're at here. So we're over 70 in the RSI, overextended. We had this likely liquidity sweep here, where we could see the price action was swept here and here. A lot of times when you get this break of a most recent high, the price comes down to retest and continues higher. But ultimately what's going on is there is a large amount of shorts that enter the market right here because there's a new high established, right? At least in the recent time frames. And then, of course, the market movers push the price action higher to liquidate all those shorts. And now all the shorts are kind of scared and concerned about going short. Okay, so they're gun shy, for lack of better terms. And the bears are essentially in hibernation, right? So that's why the price continues higher when you break through those key levels. So just note that that needs to be taken into consideration if you're considering a short right now. Because yes, there was a strong liquidity sweep there, but the truth is there could be more. Okay. We take a look at, see, are there any fair value here? Let's go ahead and just double check this here. You can kind of see on the charts that we do have a little bit of a fair value gap right there at the 2050 to the 2125 range. So right there in that range where I'm looking to take entry, we should be able to disseminate that the price action, while it did break out higher, could inevitably work its way back down to this range. And it would make sense for us to get a bounce because that's the most recent high and a strong support level based on volume and previous resistance. Okay. So my hope is that we take a long position somewhere in this range. All right, so taking a look at where we're at presently on the 4-hour time frame, we've identified some gaps that might need to be filled. We are overextended on the 4-hour when it comes to RSI. We can also say this is not the most healthy continuation pattern. While it is a staircase, there's not enough consolidation in between to warrant another leg up. So in truth, while we are getting these nice little resets and we're hitting 9s and then breaking through, it's not really ideal conditions here for me to want to jump into a long and ultimately even a short position, because what I see here so far is we are overextended, but it broke through some key levels, and the likelihood of the price just dropping straight down from here is fairly low considering we have a lot of volume and also just a continuation of added volume, I guess, is the easiest way to describe it, because when you look at these kind of increases, when the money flow index is high, which you can see currently on the RSI chart, and then also we have the moving average for volume in the price section, the amount of volume is higher than that level, that leads me to believe that we're going to see the price continue to go sideways or up. Okay, so I'm a little more biased towards the up direction for this coin, but I can tell you though that in truth, it is fairly overextended, so I wouldn't expect it to go up in the immediate future. Within the next few days would make a lot more sense, and it would also make sense for the price to drop before it comes back up again to try to wipe out a lot of those late long. Okay? Keep in mind, being a late long or late short can be very, very treacherous. All right, so let's take a look at the hourly and wrap this up here. We came up to an 8, we got a little reset, now we're down to a 3, so hypothetically we got another 6 hours continuation of the downside before we see our next leg up. It would make sense for the price to come down to this level and bounce, because it's, again, most recent high that was broken, so it should be now the new low. Okay. Now, do you think 2150 would be a solid entry with a secondary target in maybe 2050 and or possibly even the 1850 range, just based on the simple fact that we have a lot of volume support in that range? We may not come down that low. Once again, Bitcoin could have one last correction before it legs up, and if so, if it comes down to 26,000, we should very well expect to see Solana correct itself to the $19, $20 range. All right, just something to kind of preface with or let you know, kind of conclude with, I guess, rather. And last thing I want to talk about is here the Ichimoku Cloud. All green lights to leave your long position open. What I would recommend, though, is maybe taking some profit. Since we did have that last little bit of a liquidity sweep, it would make a little bit more sense for the price action to try to correct itself in a way, right? So try to take advantage of this extra value, if you will. So while I'm leaning more towards Solana overall going up, I do think immediately we should see a correction in the 20 to 2150 range. And if so, then we want to be prepared for it, right? So I'm getting ready to consider a long position at this point, but more importantly, I'm going to wait for confirmation on that. And to me right now, we don't have confirmation to take a short, because this does tell us that we are free and clear of the price action, conversion lines above the baseline, and we got the cloud right here. So ultimately what I'm looking for an invalidation would be the price action be kind of sideways and down here, and to kind of close below the cloud. And that would be a confirmation for me to either consider a short or to take a long closer to the $20 to $21 range. Okay. Again, a lot of different strategies here. Depends on your overall type of situation. I get the question a lot like, hey, should I go long or short? Well, a lot of it depends on your risk tolerance and ultimately what kind of positions you're looking at taking too. How long are you planning to be in the trade for? If it's under 24 hours, most of this, what you've seen here so far today, doesn't really apply too much. It's good to know in the overall sense. You always have to familiarize yourself with the big picture. But if you're trading more intraday, it's something to note that these indicators are more swing trade focused. Okay, so just note, I love swing trading myself personally. That's more so what I like to do. I don't like to be glued to the charts all day, every day. Congrats to anyone who can do that. I think that's awesome. I did that for years, and I can tell you what, I'm kind of just finished with that. I prefer more passive income and money coming in on the sides at this point. And it's this coin's looking pretty good, but I do think it's a little early to consider just a massive long position. But once again, hey, history repeats itself. This coin does some pretty awesome stuff, right? Could very well be at the beginning of something like that, right? So hopefully we get to see that. I think in the near future we will, though. Honestly, this coin does look pretty strong. I'm just looking for a slightly better entry than we've seen. I hope that makes sense for you. Thanks again so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. If you can, jump on over to Twitter, Telegram, or Discord. Help us grow our communities. And obviously, if you're not currently a community member, CryptoCash.tech is a site linked down below. You can be eligible for some really awesome profits here, such as our Solana long at 63%, OGN at 205, and our KNC short at 34%. That just all happened last night while I was sleeping. Awesome stuff, right? All right. Once again, have a good rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one. Take good care. Bye.